listening to the Positive Professional Podcast with your host, me, Tracy Yvonne. This podcast is a weekly conversation about all things mental health, self-care, and wellness. And there'll be sprinkles of positivity, mindfulness, and guided meditations. Welcome back to Season 5, Episode 6. Today's episode, I'm going to be tackling another topic that touches us all, and that's navigating the tricky waters of difficult conversations and how doing so impacts our mental well-being. Now, whether it's an agreement with a friend, a sensitive chat at work, or broaching tough topics with family, we've all faced moments where the words feel like they weigh a ton. Today, I'm going to break down how to handle these moments with care, empathy, and a little bit of wisdom. So let's get started. First, what makes a conversation difficult? It's not just the subject matter. Though that's a big part of it, it's also the emotions involved, the stakes for the relationship, and the potential for misunderstanding. These conversations can stir up anxiety, stress, and even fear. But why? Well, it's often because they touch on our values, our needs, and our deepest desires. The fear of losing a connection, being misunderstood, or hurting someone we care about can make these chats feel like minefields. In addition, there's also risk of conflict, right? There's a potential for disagreement or conflict which can lead to stress, and again, anxiety or avoidance behaviors. And let's also think about vulnerability, sharing or discussing sensitive, personal, or critical information that exposes vulnerabilities. There's also unclear outcomes for the potential or unexpected reactions that can make a conversation daunting. And power dynamics is a lot of times seen in workplace situations, and this is about differences in authority, status, or power between parties can also complicate dialogue. But it's not all doom and gloom. Difficult conversations are also opportunities for growth, for strengthening bonds, and for making positive changes in our relationships. So let's try a quick exercise. Take a moment and think of a difficult conversation perhaps you've been putting off. Now imagine how you can frame your main point with an I statement. Did you feel the difference? See, using this method, it's a softer landing for a tough message. And navigating difficult conversations requires a blend of empathy, clarity, and preparation. So in the next segment, I'm going to share some strategies to help you approach these conversations more effectively. Before the conversation, take time to reflect on the key points you want to address. Consider the other person's perspective and prepare for how they might respond. It's also helpful to set clear objectives for what you want to achieve from the conversation. And timing and setting can significantly impact the outcome of a difficult conversation. Choose a private, comfortable place and a time when both you and the other person are likely to be calm and not rushed. Begin the conversation on a positive note to set a collaborative tone. Acknowledge the other person's good intentions, strengths, and past positive actions. And as I said in the first segment, use I statements. Reframe your concerns from your perspective without blaming the other person. For example, I feel concerned when, instead of you always. This approach is less likely to put the other person on a defensive. And practice active listening. Listen to understand, not to respond. Give the other person your full attention and acknowledge their feelings and perspectives. This can help de-escalate emotions and demonstrate empathy. And also stay focused on the issue. Keep the conversation focused on a specific issue at hand, avoiding the temptation to bring up unrelated grievances. And this will prevent the conversation from derailing. Be honest and clear about your feelings and what you need, but also be compassionate. Recognize that difficult conversations can be challenging for the other person as well. And look for areas of agreement or shared goals. This can help both parties feel more connected and willing to compromise or collaborate on a solution. And end the conversation with a clear understanding of any agreed upon actions or next steps. This helps to ensure that the conversation leads to positive change. And the last tip that I'm going to share is follow-up. After the conversation, consider following up to check on progress or to provide additional support if needed. This shows that you're committed to resolving the issue and value the relationship. Remember, navigating difficult conversations is a skill that improves with practice. Reflecting on each conversation afterwards to identify what well and what could be improved next time is also beneficial. Thanks for listening and supporting this podcast. And make sure you're clicking the like and subscribe button. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Stay safe, be well, and don't forget to be the best version of you.